Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the last of the division breakdowns, as we are in the Southwest now. And if you are wondering why in the world do you have this jersey on, you've never seen this jersey in your life. It's my high school. I didn't have any jerseys from any of these teams, so I'm put on my high school jersey. Well, my current high school jersey. Número 22. Es número muy bien. So getting into this, if you haven't seen any of the past videos, what I do is I look at each team in the division for today, the Southwest, and I ask two questions about the team and do my best to answer them, and then I like what to expect from this team for this year. After this video, there will be one more video on this where I go over my final standings, award races, all NBA teams, and then my playoff prediction. So that is the video coming out next. And then every week of the NBA season. So starting on that shortened week, the 22nd to that Saturday, it'd be 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 23rd, 24th, 25th. So the 22nd to the 27th, starting that week, I will have a breakdown of each week, where I go like the most exciting game, the best game of the week, the most exciting player to watch, the MVP races, the Rookie of the Year, all the award races, and my power rankings. And that'll be a weekly video coming out Sunday mornings, ideally. I also tend to be very lazy. If you've watched any of my videos on my other channel, I haven't posted there in about 2 weeks now. Instead, I've been posting here because this is fun. But anyway, let's get right into this with the Southwest. Oh, actually, one more thing. Please like and subscribe. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. I guarantee you will have differing opinions than I will, because I am a very, very interesting person when it comes to my opinions with this stuff. But yeah, starting off in the Southwest, we have the San Antonio Spurs. Once considered like the greatest dynasty of the generation, right? I think the greatest dynasty in our generation was the Spurs with Pop, and the 22 straight years I think it was making the playoffs, 23 maybe. But my two questions are: will the rookies contribute now? And is this an end of an era? These kind of tie in a little bit. But starting off with, will the rookies contribute now? I think yes and no. So just a quick reminder: the two rookies I'm referencing here are Tre Jones and Devin Vassell. I think the Spurs got extremely lucky being able to draft Devin Vassell, as I had him going a little bit higher. So the Spurs absolutely got a great pick with Vassell, and I love Tre Jones too. I think he's going to be absolutely amazing. And I think they absolutely put up numbers right away. I think they're both very solid defenders, both players that Popovich as coach will love to use, as their defense, their hustle, their intensity is amazing. And then both of them have displayed offensive potential. Tre Jones as more of a facilitator, and Vassell as a 3-and-D kind of player. But yeah, I think the Spurs rookies will contribute, but not enough to contribute to wins. I think they'll contribute. They'll put up some numbers. They'll have their name in there, like in the top 10 for rookie of the year stuff. But yeah, I think they'll contribute a bit, but not to wins. And that ties me into: is this an end of an era? And I'm starting to lean yes. It's gonna suck when Greg Popovich decides to retire. I don't think he's gonna take a job anywhere else. I mean, he very well could. He absolutely could take a job somewhere else. But I just see him retiring over that. I don't see him, mainly because I can't picture him anywhere else. I can't picture him coaching any other team. I can only picture him coaching the Spurs, as he's been there longer than I have been alive. So it would be very weird to see him somewhere else. And maybe that's bias influencing my decision here on like, will he retire a little bit? That might be influencing it. But this Spurs team is going to suck, and I think back-to-back years of not making the playoffs, maybe back-to-back years. I don't. I have a bad memory at times. Um, yeah, I think this isn't gonna. I think this might be the end of Greg Popovich in San Antonio. Um, I don't know. I'm sure he has someone groomed down there um, in San Antonio to go and take his spot. So will it be the end of the type of Spurs that we're used to seeing? Probably not. They will still thrive on defense. But yeah, I think we are nearing the end of Greg Popovich in San Antonio. So what should we expect? Nothing too great. I think they will be a decent team. I think they'll finish 11th, 12th ish range, like 10th, 11th, 12th ish in the West, which could be enough to get them into the play-in tournament. But no, like I'm not trying to take any shots here at DeRozan and Aldridge. I just think even if they get into that 10th seed, it's not going to be enough to win a game. So I think mediocrity at best for the Spurs is what we should expect. As mentioned, I think the rookies will contribute. I think DeRozan will put up his 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. LaMarcus just shy of 20 points and just shy of 10 rebounds. But outside of that, no one really, I don't think, will stand out this year for the Spurs. Next, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Cinderella team of last year. Which leads to my first question. Can Ja continue his dominance? And number 2, can they stretch the floor? So last year, it's no secret the Grizzlies were successful because of Ja. Okay, Ja was the reason the Grizzlies were so good. Would they have been the same team with Tyus Jones at point guard? No, they wouldn't have. Ja was electrifying. He is the best player on that team by far. So in order for the Grizzlies to get back to the playoffs in a loaded West, Ja needs to put up like MVP type numbers. Like he needs to play out of his bleeping mind. Okay, like this. First of all, like the West is just loaded. Like all 5 teams in this Southwest Division, I could see making the playoffs. And then, so first of all, that would take up 5 spots. Then 4 teams in the Pacific, I could see making the playoffs. There's 9 spots. In the Northwest, there's three more teams that I could see making the playoff. That's 12 spots of playoff caliber teams. And in order for the Grizzlies to set themselves apart, Ja needs to continue his dominance, just being who he was last year, then that extra step more from what he was last year. Something else that would significantly help is if they could stretch the floor. They have one shooter in Dillon Brooks. Triple J can stretch the floor a bit. He can shoot a bit. But outside of that, they aren't known for their floor stretching. I think they were 26th in 3-point rating and 23rd in 3-point percentage in the league last year. They need to bump that up to at least average if they want to make the playoffs and if they want to do well. So those are the 2 questions I have for the Grizzlies. I hope they can stretch the floor. I hope Ja can become a better shooter than he was last year. But if he can't, then this team will rely heavily on Dillon Brooks to provide that shooting. So what should we expect? Currently, I have them fighting for a play-in spot. As I mentioned, there's 12 caliber teams, 12 playoff caliber teams in the West. And the Grizzlies are right in the thick of that. They are in the towards the bottom they're in the bottom 6 of that group, which means I could see them going anywhere from 6th to 12th in the West. Anywhere in there, I could see happening. But I think I have them around the 8, 9, 10 area in the West. So that's about what I expect. But I would, as a Grizzlies, if I were a Grizzlies fan, expect Ja Morant to put up insane numbers, and Triple J to be his right hand man in that. The next team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Question numero uno: can Zion stay healthy? And number 2, who is the number 1? I kind of made this easy on myself. Can Zion stay healthy? I can't answer that question. But what I can attest to this is if he is healthy, he is a beast. Currently this is the most preseason basketball I've ever watched in my life. Like just this 2020, and then the last 17 years. Combine those 17 years, I have not watched this much preseason basketball. But in Zion's preseason games, he has looked dominant, like with no restrictions for the most part. Is a beast. He is like the number 1 pick that we all expected. Like from the preseason games. So take that with what you will. From the preseason games, he has looked like the number 1 overall pick. Will that translate to NBA games? I hope so. But I also can't be too certain. In the couple games that he did play last year, he looked pretty dang good. So I'm thinking it will translate, which will then lead to the question, who is the number 1 on this team? Personally, I would say Brandon Ingram is. I think he is the better player. I think he is a better player than Zion right now. I think as an offensive threat, Ingram is much more dangerous from anywhere on the court compared to Zion, who did have an impressive shooting performance against the Spurs. But Ingram overall I think is a better offensive threat than Zion. But Zion will definitely benefit from any missed shots that Ingram puts up, and will definitely benefit a lot on rebounds from Lonzo Ball. That'll help. But yeah, I think Brandon Ingram is definitely, I'd say, still the number 1 on this team. But Zion will be right up there with him. I just don't know how much the offense will run through him as compared to him just he and Steven Adams just beasting everyone down low. So that's what I think for the Pelicans. And what should we expect from the Pelicans? I think they are absolutely a playoff team. Like for the Grizzlies, I had them 8, 9, 10-ish, anywhere from 6 to 12. I have the Pelicans anywhere from about 5 to 9. So I have them absolutely making the playoffs, at least the playing game. I think Zion will definitely not be a bust if he stays healthy. If he's not, we got another Greg Oden, which sucks. I mean, it could even be like almost perfect, like a beast big man missing out on a career due to injuries. And then the second overall pick was another beast who was a little bit underrated coming in, and is turning out to be by far the best player in the class. I'm not saying, just saying. That's if Zion can't stay healthy, but if he can, absolutely this team will be so good, so much fun to watch. But yeah, that's the Pelicans. So now everyone's favorite team to talk about, the Houston Rockets. This will be one of the few times I curse. What the hell is happening? I mean, what the hell is happening in Houston? Like, James Harden does not want to be there. John Wall, I think, thought things were going to be a lot better. Like, James Harden might calm down now that he's there, because Wall's the savior. But like, Houston has made the changes that Harden has asked for, and yet he still doesn't want to be there. Shows up to training camp overweight. Like, this team is not going to do well last year. I was one that thought when they traded for Wall, like Harden might say, okay, they're doing their best to make me happy, and I'll come back and give it a shot. Yeah, that's not happening. And if he had come back right away in shape, then I said, yeah, this team is going to make the playoffs. Now I don't know. This team is one of the most the boomer bust teams this year. I mean, they could literally finish anywhere from maybe even the 1 seed to literally the 15th seed. Like, this team, like, if Harden comes back and plays like we know Harden to be, like 35 points a game, MVP Harden, and John Wall comes back as explosive as he ever has been. Christian Wood works out. They run the small ball perfectly. They could be the 1 seed. Like, seriously. Like, in a 72-game season, they could be the 1 seed. But if James Harden demands a trade, John Wall is nothing what we expect. The small ball doesn't work. They could literally be the 15th seed. So this team is absolutely boom or bust. Like, that is the Rockets this year, which is kind of ironic because either they boom and get to space, or they bust. And we all remember what happens when Rockets bust. It's not good. But yeah. So to answer the clue of what the hell's happening, I don't know. This team's just a dysfunctional mess, and at least my next question is bye James. Like, you have to phrase the question. Yeah, bye James. James Harden needs to do everything he can to get out of there. Like, he's done a lot so far, not showing up at the training camp. When he has shown up overweight. Okay, he needs to do everything he can. Go talk to him. Just talk to management. Say, get me the F out of here. I would think the best place is to Philly for both the Rockets and the 76ers. The best place for Harden would be the Nets, but I think he'd be fine anywhere except for Houston. Like, just get him out of there, please. And finally, what to expect from the Rockets this year. No one knows. As I mentioned, they're the biggest boom or bust team. But right now, I think everyone's leaning towards bust. This team is going to miss the playoffs, not even make the play-in game. At this rate, I don't think. They'll be as bad as the Spurs, Kings, Thunder, Timberwolves. Yeah, the 4 teams that I have. 12. The 3 teams that I have, like I said, I have the 12 teams that are playoff caliber. The Rockets are in there, but they're pretty close to the bottom 3 that aren't in that category. Like, they're gonna suck this year, and it's gonna be fun for newscasters to follow it. But for Rockets fans, I am sorry. I am really sorry. So now, finally, on to everybody's favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. And as you can tell from my you will be able to tell from 2 questions, it's not far off from the Dallas Lucas, or the Luka Mavericks, the Dallas Doncic's. Anyway, my 2 questions here. What's the ceiling for Luka Doncic, and how strong is Luka's back? So, in terms of what is the ceiling for Luka, I think we all know that Luka could be considered as one of the greatest ever. I mean, he's in his 3rd season, competing for MVP trophies. If I'm being honest, like, from my memory of studying history, Jordan wasn't doing that. Like, I know it's not right to compare him to Jordan. Okay? I don't think anyone will be like Jordan. But if I had to place a bet on who will be the closest to Jordan by the end of the career in the NBA right now, it wouldn't be LeBron. It would be Luka. Like, Luka will be dominant. He is going to be the future of the NBA forever. Like, for as long as he decides to play, he's going to be the NBA. He already is the NBA. Like, he's just, there's nothing you can really do to stop. Like, his offense is just unguardable, almost. Like, almost James Harden level. His defense isn't good, but it's serviceable. Like, you could, like, if you're playing a team, let's say like the Sixers, for example, you could put them on Danny Green or on Seth Curry, Matisse Thybulle, and they're not gonna score too much. Like, his defense is good enough that he's just gonna be in MVP conversations for the rest of his career. So, next question: how strong is Luka's back? This is not in reference to an injury. Okay, to my knowledge, Luka does not have a back injury. Okay, it is like metaphor. Like how strong is his back? Like he's gonna have to carry this team. I mean, it starts off with Porzingis not being there for the first month or so. I think is what it is. I looked it up, but I forgot because I looked it up about 6 hours ago. For the first month and a half or so. But when you look at this roster, your best player is Luka, and then Kristaps, where he's out. So your next best player is Josh Richardson. That's not ideal for the Mavericks. Like, you want KP back, but until then, Luka Doncic's gonna have to put on his backpack and pretty much carry this team. This team does have like actually pretty nice depth. Like their starting five is all like there's no real holes, but like you could like if we're using like the holes metaphor, like they're like the cracks starting to form. Like you can tell something could like bust open there, but we're not quite there yet. And that like Tim Hardaway Jr., Richardson, Kleba, now Dwight Powell center still isn't horrible. I think he's like an 80 overall in 2K, so that's not bad. But yeah, this starting five doesn't suck. Their bench includes Brunson, Jalen Brunson, Tyrell Terry, Josh Green, Dorian Finney-Smith, Bobby. Like this team is actually pretty well rounded. Hence why I like when it comes to what to expect. I expect that this team will be amazing, even without Kristaps. I think this team will do extremely well, and they will benefit. They will benefit from a weaker Spurs and Rockets. They will dominate their games against the three not playoff caliber teams. They will dominate them. They will beat teams. I think like they play the Lakers and Clippers. I could see the Mavericks winning those games without Kristaps due to the fact that Luka is amazing. Now, may I be over exaggerating a little bit? May I be sounding absolutely stupid? There's no doubt about it. Like, literally, in a couple of days, you can come back and look at this video and say, this kid is an absolute fucking moron. Okay, just dislike all this. He's an idiot. You absolutely could. But, yeah, I just, really, when it came down to, like, you'll see, like, in the next video, because I already have the standing, I already have all that written out. In fact, I might just record it right after this. But, well, I could go to sleep. Who needs sleep? But yeah, you will see in my predictions, I do go a little bit bolder with some, and a lot of over exaggerating with my predictions. But yeah, I think Luka's gonna be amazing. He'll get a back workout this year. But yeah, I think the Mavericks will do amazing, as you'll see tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Please again, remember to like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed this content, then do it. If you didn't like it, just leave. You can dislike it if you want. But what does it there's no real purpose in doing that. Just leave the video alone. But a better thing to do, just tell me why I'm an idiot. I mean, my parents tell me that a lot anyway, so I'm used to it. Like, go leave it in the comments. And let's talk about it. Let's have a lively discussion. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video coming out tomorrow. Adios.